So again, we're going over his scores. So right here, we have the alphabet recognition. He got a 26 out of 26. Really no concerns there. Right here, we have his alphabet production. He got a 24 out of 26. His concept of word, he got an 8 out of 12. Spelling, 1, which is just an indication that he was given a first grade list of words. He got 30 out of 40. With his word recognition, he got 16 out of 60, which was a 27%. And then lastly, with the passage reading, he got an 83%. So I'll give you that a copy of those results. And basically, I just want to go over with you all of those data points and tell you what they mean and how we're going to go from here with them. So his alphabet recognition, he got a 26 out of 26, and his alphabet production, he got a 24 out of 26. So his scores tell us that he has a really strong grasp on recognizing each word in the alphabet and also producing it when he hears it and being able to write it. So his production is really excellent. The one that he missed was that he wrote G instead of Q. That's really developmentally normal, that reversal of the tail. You know, if you look at them, they look very similar. He just, he got confused, which is completely normal and understandable. And then also his other error with the production was that he couldn't come up with G. But again, he could have been confused, seeing that he had already written it, and then second-guessing himself. So with the concept of word assessment, he got an 8 out of 12, and this tells us that he has a marginal grasp of the concept. His biggest issue was with the pointing. Out of those 4 points that were designated specifically for the finger pointing and tracking when he was reading, he only got 1 out of 4 of those points. So I'm really going to work with him on that because it's really important, and it definitely affected other assessments. So the only other point that he lost was that he wasn't able to accurately identify the word big. He said dig, but just like with the G and Q thing, it's kind of the same, you know, reversing those 2 letters. It's very normal for his age and for his developmental stage. For his spelling test, his spelling assessment, he got 30 out of 40 possible points. So I was really pleased with that. This score tells us that he was able to identify the beginning and ending consonants in most of the words generally, and most of those middle vowel sounds as well. His scores and the diligence that I observed when I was giving him the test were excellent. I was really pleased with it, and in my opinion, and you know, based on the data as well, he's really right on track with where he should be. I would say he's above average in the class, which is awesome. The one thing that I do need to work on him with regards to spelling, is the ch sound, the ch sound. So he understood what that sound was, and he understood that it was a ch, but twice on the spelling test he wrote hc, so he just reversed those 2 letters, which isn't a big deal, but just something to work on with regards to that. With his word recognition assessment, he got 16 out of 60, so that was 27%, and this score tells us it actually is classified as an emerging sight word vocabulary, which is really good and normal for his stage and his performance. I do want to increase that sight word vocabulary, though, just so really that he can start reading increasingly challenging texts. He's definitely one of my higher performing students, and I really want to get him on track with more difficult texts that he can handle, but that sight word vocabulary is really necessary to go on from here. So lastly, the passage reading, he got an 83%. He read 19 out of 23 words correctly, and he made 4 errors. I think this is excellent, especially considering that it was a first grade level text. I thought it was really amazing. His errors were small and really understandable, and average, I would say, for someone of his age and performance and development and everything. So, two of his errors were that he actually just completely skipped over words. And then one time he read the word on as in, and then his other error was that he read is shaking instead of shakes. So, as you can tell, these are really just careless errors that are probably due to rushing through the reading. And they're really easily fixable. He did an excellent job with all of these assessments, and now I'm just going to go over some of my instructional goals that I've set for him. So, with regards to the alphabet recognition and production, I want him to be able to accurately produce the letters Q and G. Obviously, that's something very important, whereas the letter Q doesn't exactly occur often in our language. I would say G is definitely more common, but it's still just as important to be able to identify all of those 26 letters and be able to produce them. Additionally, with regards to the alphabet production and recognition, I want him to be able to distinguish the letters B and D, especially in the context of a word. So as I said, he read the word big as dig, so that's just a confusion of the letters B and D. I'm sure we all did it at his age. It's very common, and but at the same time, when he's reading it in a word, obviously he gets very confused with that and easily mixed up. So I definitely want to straighten that out, and maybe I can come up with something that will help him remember that better. I also want him to recognize and remember that CH sound, and that it is CH in that order, just so that he doesn't make that confusion with the HC again. And then the two big ones that I have are increasing his sight word awareness and identification, and that's going to come through really just rote memorization and repetition and just diligence in that area. Those sight words, unfortunately, are a necessary evil. They're just something that needs to be memorized, really, just so that they can be known. And then lastly, and I think most importantly, an instructional goal I have for him is to track the words that he's reading by pointing to each word as he reads it. So he had a problem with that. He got some points deducted in his concept of word assessment, and I really think that some of the errors he made in his passage reading assessment were due to the fact that he was not tracking with his finger. I think that if he had been, then he would have seen that he had mistaked one word for another, and that he had skipped over a couple words. So that's a really important one. But overall, Tarek did such a wonderful job. I'm really pleased with his assessment results, and I'm really excited about all of the progress he's made this year in all areas, but especially reading. He is so bright and so hardworking and diligent, and he's really just a joy to have in class. Thank you so much for coming today, and I really hope to further our communication and really help Tarek be as successful as he can be.